What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Let's Try Not to Break This One's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Fansproject Stormbomb, which was their take on Bombshell. Interestingly enough, this one has a little bit of a story for me. I had just started getting into third party. I got the first two bugs relatively quickly back to back, and then I had a really hard time tracking this one down for a reasonable price. I'll never forget, I was at work and I saw it go on eBay for a certain amount of money, but it was the wrong picture. It was like a picture of Kickback, but it was named this guy. So I contacted the seller, and the seller said, "No, we're actually selling Kickback, but give me a couple minutes. I'll check my stock and see if we have one of these guys." He came back, hit me back up in like 15 minutes, and was like, "I have him. I'll make him a private sale to you for the same price." Bought him right then and there. Was very excited. Always a fond memory. Anyway, let's talk about accessories. So he came with a whole extra bunch of bits for shrapnel. I don't know if shrapnels was having a hard time breaking or the little tabs were breaking off, but he came with a whole separate bag of those. He came with these two sickles. They are just, well, all the accessories are kind of the same. They're just like a single cast gray plastic piece without a lick of paint. Let me take him out of the way. And then he came with this little baggie here, which is a chain that connects the two weapons. So you would take this and you would put it on the bottom of the sickle, and then you could connect it to the other one, which is a cool little thought. And then he came with this piece here, which logs into the back, and it's you can also separate them, and then he has like two size of sorts. But most people like the traditional kind of Bombshell look. So we'll take these out for a second. They were all pretty cool accessories, especially for the time. And we'll talk about the figure, right? So the head was on a ball peg, somewhat good down, fair up, side to side was okay, and the head sculpt was pretty good. Some of these head sculpts, they were like going for this ninja theme. Some of them were a little bit off the reservation, but this one was a little bit closer to the mark. We had silver paint, silver paint and red paint, and then I think that the black outlines are just left over from the plastic. Then we had the chest. We have rep labels on here, but you had this extra piece of plastic inserted there with the red paint on it, and then the yellow, which was painted on the center of the chest. You had a waist swivel here as well, and it was on a ball joint, so you got a little bit of an ab crunch, ever so slightly. For the arms, they were on a ball peg here, and you could send them back and get a little bit of a down butterfly joint, which was weird. You couldn't really use it, but it was still there, so it's worth noting. And then this is a sticker, and then the silver paint there. And the back of the figure cleaned up fairly well. Not the best, but certainly not the worst either. And then we had the ball peg here for the shoulder, so that got you the down and the swivel. And then the bicep swivel right there, another ball peg for the elbow, so it worked like a double jointed elbow, which is fair enough. And then the hands were locked in place that we're going to double check, and that seems to be good. So T-jointed ball joints for hips, they got you out to there, forward and back to there. No paint anywhere on the thigh or hip. Thigh swivel built in. Knee, single hinge, gets you about 90 degrees. And then you had silver paint there, and I think this is a separate piece of black plastic that's glued on there. And then for the feet, you had an ankle tilt down and good up, a toe tilt down, not really anything up, and then an ankle rocker, and that all articulated on a single ball peg. So for its time, pretty well articulated figure. These hip skirts, they came down to there. I just moved them to get them out of the way for articulation, but it's part of the transformation process. Overall, not a bad unit. Size comparison wise, there he is next to Generations Warpath. Not for nothing. Let's just take a minute and talk about this guy for a minute. This is just back when Hasbro cared a little bit more, I feel like. But there you go. All right, let's transform him. So much like the other one, this piece came up and over the head. This one was always a little bit wonky to try to get on, but once you got it, it's good to go. Bend the feet down 90 degrees here, and then 90 degrees at the toe. Same for this side. take these hip skirts and they rotate up, and then this piece was on a double hinge, if memory serves, and that rotates up as well. And that was always a bit tighter than I think most of us wanted it to be. Alright, so then turn these so that you have the two black pieces facing forward, and collapse them. And I don't think that went far enough, but we'll, yeah, that's where you want it. So there. And then we can go ahead and rotate these little bug legs out of the way. And they're all on ball pegs, which is fine, but it's always a bit frustrating. And then close these pieces up. And then all this should collapse together. Alright. Then, using that kind of downward butterfly joint, we take this and, let's see, I think that, actually maybe we spun, yeah, we take this here and spin this on the ball peg, the shoulder pad, 180 degrees. Has a tendency to pop off, but it's kind of a more pliable plastic, so you should be fine. And then this tab here corresponds to that slot there, I believe. I might need to collapse this just a little bit more. There it is. And then that'll close up, and the same for this side. Now let's spin this first. I always forget this. Same thing. And then we're going slot tab. And then that's pretty much it. Articulate, or put these in the right spots. These were kind of weight bearing on two places. We'll talk about that as we look at the bug mode, but I'll get them cleaned up and we'll take a look at them. I wonder if this was all there was to these. I have a hard time. I wonder if if these didn't clip on there. I bet you they did. Alright, I'll clean them up. We'll take a look at them. I always like this. I mean, this is a bit intense up here. It's a bit much, but it is very threatening and menacing. For articulation, you had a ball peg here, which pretty much got you a swivel and then a little bit of an upward rocker there, and then one single hinge here at the claw, and that's the same for all four of these. And then for this one, it was a ball peg to a single strut, which held these weapons. And the tension on these weapons was always a bit looser than you would like them to be. And then this piece, these just slide in there, as we've kind of looked at. But I've always thought this was pretty cool, especially for the time. And when we judge figures like this, we kind of have to judge them for their time. It's not really fair to judge them for by today's standard, But it's a good size. It did the part. I don't know. Pretty cool little critter. Final thoughts wise, the negatives, these sliding mechanisms down here, they were always tight. The tolerance here for these pieces and having them pop off when you're trying to rotate them to transform the thing into bug mode to get it around to the other side, those were always an issue. But outside of that, everything was pretty much good to go for its time, and even the sliding parts didn't really bother you. It's just now that things have become so much more polished, it definitely sticks out. These bothered me even back then. But yeah, I mean, the articulation's good, the materials are good, the paint is good. It's not a whole lot of paint, but for its time, it was fair, if not more than fair, to be quite honest. But yeah, it was a cool little guy, and I still think these bugs are the best chug scaled Insecticons available on the market today. And they're a good bit older than most third-party items, but I still think they have no competitor. No valid competitor, anyway. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the next president of these United States, Mr. Bobby Skullface.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here today to speak with you guys a little bit about my stances, my very important political stances, and kind of how I feel about things and where I sit, and hopefully give you guys some insights as to where I stand on those issues that I know are not only important to you, but important to me as well. So I'm here today, and let me know what I can do for you. Yes, sir, you in the back.
So what's your view on the economy?
On the economy, I think that we should start bringing more third-party companies to the United States of America. I want to get more third parties operating in the United States. I want to cut out that middleman, cut out that shipping payment that we're paying for to get it from one sea to the other shining sea. I want to cut that out. I want to be an advocate for these young people that want to infringe on other people's intellectual properties and try to get some product made that the collectors can actually hold near and dear to their hearts and put on their collection and be proud of. Something they can be proud of on their big shelf. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for me. That's what I want for these 50 states of ours. Next. Yes, ma'am, you in the back.
So what are your views on weapons of mass destruction?
Weapons of mass destruction, I'm glad you asked. As long as the accessory can be held within the hand of the toy, I'm okay with it. If it's got a base pin knuckle, let's get that knuckle wide open. Let's get that knuckle wide open, get the handle held deep inside of that hand so that you can hold it firmly. We've wasted too much time. We've wasted too many plastic hand molds that can't hold the gun properly. You gotta kind of sit the gun on the forearm in order for it to fit properly in the hand. If you elect me as president, I will make sure that all guns and accessories come in a tight-fitting hand that they can hold them properly in any pose and formation. I guarantee that for you.
So what are your views on abortion?
Abominous. I think that it was okay, but I think we can do even better. I think that if we get Warbotron, maybe even get Fanstoys motivated enough to do a combiner, hell, let's get to Car Masterpiece to get in the arena. Step up their game, start getting some combiners in the room. I think we can get Abominous to be even better. Next question, please.
What's your choice for the next Supreme Court Justice?
The next member of the DJD has already been announced by MMC. That's the Decepticon Justice Division. That's going to be Tarn. He's going to be coming out shortly. I'll be taking a look at him. Hopefully I can review him and get him out to you. I'll also make sure that these prototypes that we get as reviewers in hand first that are much more accurate to the final products that get to you. So that when we review them, you know pretty much what to expect. You can base your pre-orders off of them. You can save a dime or spend a dime. I'm here for you. You're here for me. Let's get it started. 2016, Skullface for President.